What you're about to see will completely change the way you look at the people around you. When a 50 million real system crashes in a multinational company and the world's top experts fail, who do you think solves it? Get ready for a story that will make you question everything. Alexandre Monteiro, CEO of Tech Global Brazil. At 45 years old, he ran one of the largest tech companies in the country. Office on the top floor, panoramic view of São Paulo, imported cars in the executive garage. The kind of man who never had to look down, literally. For Alexandre, the world was divided into two categories, those who give orders and those who obey. And he, of course, always gave the orders. On the other side of the same company worked Benedito Santos, 52 years old, janitor at Tech Global for 15 years. Every day, 5 in the morning, he arrived before everyone, cleaned every floor, every bathroom, every desk. Invisible to most, essential to all. Benedito had a daughter, Maya Santos, 19 years old. And here is where our real story begins. Maya grew up in the hallways of Tech Global. While other kids played in the park, she did her homework in the cleaning room, surrounded by the smell of disinfectant and the whispers of computers that never stopped running. "Dad, why do these computers make that sound?" she asked at 7. "I don't know, sweetie. That's something for important people," Benedito would reply, mopping the floor. But Maya didn't take "I don't know" as an answer. She watched, she listened, she learned. By 12, Maya already knew that the servers on the 10th floor processed financial transactions. By 15, she understood data traffic patterns. By 17, she had memorized every error code the tech guys cursed about in the hallways. "Maya, you're too smart for this place," Benedito would say, pride and sadness mixed in his voice. "Dad, intelligence doesn't belong to a place, it just is." Maya studied at night in a public university, computer science, full scholarship, because life gave no other option. By day, she helped her father clean when she had no classes. Tech Global employees saw her walking by, in uniform, invisible, just another janitor's daughter. Alexandre Monteiro had never noticed her. To him, people like Maya didn't even exist in the same universe. They were part of the scenery, like the plants or the fire extinguishers. But the universe has a cruel way of teaching humility. And on a Tuesday at 2:37 p.m., everything changed. Tech Global's central system processed 200,000 transactions per minute, moved 50 million reais per hour. It was the digital heart keeping thousands of businesses alive across Brazil. And suddenly, it stopped. Critical system offline. The red screen screamed across the building. Alexander was in a meeting with Japanese investors when his phone exploded with calls. Each minute offline meant 800,000 reais in losses. Each hour, clients left for competitors. "Fix this now," he yelled at the IT team. Carlos, the tech manager, was sweating bullets. "Mr. Alexandra, we've called all the specialists. The system is completely frozen. We've never seen anything like it." While the executives panicked upstairs, Maya was in the basement organizing cleaning supplies. She heard the alarm, saw the techs running in desperation, and something inside her awakened. "Dad, what's that noise?" "Computer problem, sweetie. Big one. They say the company could go under if they don't fix it fast." Maya stopped what she was doing. 15 years of watching those systems. 15 years invisible, absorbing every technical conversation, every complaint, every solution discussed in the hallways. "Dad, I think I know what it is." Benedito looked at his daughter. In that moment, something changed in his eyes. For the first time in years, he didn't see the little girl growing in the company's shadow. He saw the brilliant woman she had become, despite everything. "Maya, are you sure about what you're saying?" She took a deep breath. She knew she was crossing an invisible line. She knew the world didn't forgive people like her for daring to know too much. "Dad, I've spent my whole life here. I know these systems better than a lot of people upstairs." It was true, and they both knew it. 3 hours had passed. Losses had already surpassed 2 million reais. Alexandre paced back and forth in his office, phone glued to his ear. "What do you mean you can't identify the problem? I pay a fortune to have the best tech experts in the market." Downstairs in the IT room, it was total chaos. 15 specialists, some from São Paulo, others connected remotely from different countries, all failing. "It's impossible," Carlos yelled. "The system just won't respond to any command. It's like it became self-aware and decided to die." Maya couldn't focus on cleaning. The sirens, the desperate voices, the running footsteps. She knew exactly what was happening, and she knew the solution. "Dad, I need to go upstairs." Benedito stopped mopping. "Maya, sweetie, that's no place for us." "And what is our place, Dad?" The question came out harsher than she intended. "Staying down here, invisible, while they ruin everything because they don't know what they're doing?" Benedito saw the determination in her eyes. The same determination he had at 18 when he left the countryside to try life in the capital. The same that was crushed year after year by eyes that didn't see him as a human being. "Maya, they'll humiliate you. They'll laugh at you. They'll throw you out of here and I'll lose my job." Dad. Maya held her father's calloused hands. For 15 years you've cleaned this company. 15 years waking up at 5 a.m. so they could have a perfect place to work. You know every screw, every wire, every corner of this place. You are this company just as much as any executive upstairs. Tears welled in Benedito's eyes. For the first time, someone saw the value in his work. His own daughter was giving him back the dignity the world had taken. And Dad, I grew up here. This company raised me. I learned to read listening to the techs talk about code. I learned math by calculating how many meters of cable they installed. I learned English reading the manuals they threw away. Maya took a deep breath. They ignored me my whole life, but I paid attention. I learned. And now, when they need it most, I can help. Benedito looked at his daughter. In that moment, he no longer saw the girl hiding behind cleaning machines. He saw a brilliant, strong woman, ready to face a world that never wanted her. Are you sure, Maya? I've never been so sure of anything in my life. Father and daughter went up to the 10th floor. The hallway was full of nervous executives, sweaty technicians, people yelling on their phones. No one noticed the janitor and his daughter walking determinedly toward the IT room. Excuse me, Maya said softly to the door guard. Hey, you can't come in here. Restricted area. I know how to fix the system, she said simply. The guard laughed. Sure, girl, and I'm an astronaut. Get out of here before I call the police. That's when Carlos showed up behind him, exhausted, defeated. Let her in. Boss? You heard me. At this point, even a monkey can try. We've got nothing left to lose. Maya felt the humiliation burn in her chest. But she didn't back down. She had seen her father be humiliated his whole life. She had learned to turn pain into fuel. She walked into the IT room. 15 men stared at her like she was an alien. Some laughed. Others shook their heads in disbelief. Guys, the company's going bankrupt. But at least we'll get a laugh watching the janitor's daughter play technician, one of them muttered. Maya walked to the main terminal. Her hands trembled, but not from nerves. From rage. From 15 years of invisibility being turned into pure determination. She started typing. Hey, what are you doing? Get away from there, Carlos shouted. Let her, a voice said from the doorway. Everyone turned. It was Alexandre Montero. The CEO himself had come down to see the desperation up close. Mr. Alexandre, that's the janitor's daughter. She says she knows how to fix the system, Carlos explained sarcastically. Alexandre looked at Maya. It was the first time he truly saw her. Young, black, in a simple uniform, but with something in her eyes he couldn't identify. Intelligence, determination, or something deeper? You really think you can fix something the best experts in the country couldn't? Maya stopped typing and looked him straight in the eyes. No fear, no submission. Mr. Alexandra, with all due respect, your experts have been looking in the wrong place for 3 hours. They think it's a hardware or software failure, but it's not. Then what is it? It's a miscommunication between the old security protocols and the new encryption system you installed last week. The system isn't broken. It's protecting itself. Total silence in the room. Alexandra felt something strange in his gut. Respect? Fear? Or the realization that he had completely underestimated someone. How do you know that? Because I was here when it was installed. Because I heard the techs complaining about the incompatibility. Because I listen. Because I observe. Because you've treated me like furniture for 15 years. And furniture sees everything. The answer hit Alexandra like a punch to the stomach. For the first time in his life, he was forced to see his own blindness. Maya went back to typing. I can fix this in 10 minutes, if you let me. 10 minutes. Alexandra repeated. You have 10 minutes to do what 15 specialists couldn't in 3 hours. Maya didn't reply. Her hands flew across the keyboard with a precision that hypnotized the entire room. Complex code appeared on the screen, commands that not even senior technicians fully recognized. My God, Carlos whispered. She really knows what she's doing. 5 minutes later, Maya stopped. She looked at the screen, frowned. There's something wrong here, she murmured. What? Alexandra stepped closer. The system didn't crash on its own. Someone forced this conflict. A heavy silence fell over the room. What do you mean? Carlos asked, sweating. Maya pointed at lines of code on the screen. Look here. This sequence of commands was entered manually last night, at 11:47 p.m. to be exact. Alexandra felt his blood run cold. You're saying this was sabotage? I'm not saying it. I'm proving it. Maya opened another terminal, her fingers dancing across the keys. Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. They inserted a logic bomb designed to activate during peak business hours. Speak in Portuguese, Carlos shouted. Someone planted a digital bomb programmed to explode at the busiest time. This isn't an accident. It's internal sabotage. Alexandre looked around the room, 15 technicians all avoiding his gaze. One of them had tried to destroy the company from the inside. Can you trace who did this? Maya hesitated. I can, but you're not going to like what you find. Do it. More commands, more code. And then, on the screen, a name appeared that made Alexandra stumble. Authorized access, Carlos Mendez, IT manager. Carlos turned pale. This can't be. It must be a mistake. Carlos, Alexandra turned slowly toward him. Carlos? Boss, I swear, I didn't do anything. Someone must have used my password. Maya kept typing. No, Carlos. You logged in from your own computer, from your own home. There's even a fingerprint in the biometric system. The silence in the room was deafening. Why? Alexandre shouted. 15 years working here. I trusted you. Carlos broke down. The tears started falling. They offered me 5 million reais, Alexandre. The competition. They wanted to bring Tech Global down. My daughter needs an extremely expensive surgery. My wife's unemployed. I had no choice. You tried to destroy the company, destroy hundreds of jobs. I thought it would just be a temporary problem, that you'd fix it quickly and I'd take the money to save my daughter. Maya watched everything in silence. She understood desperation. She understood what it meant to need money to save someone you love, but she also understood betrayal. Carlos, she said softly, you almost destroyed my father's work, almost cost hundreds of people like us their jobs. Carlos looked at her ashamed. Maya, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't pay the salaries of the people who would have been fired if the company collapsed. Alexandre was in shock. His trusted man, his right hand in the tech department, had tried to destroy everything. Security, he shouted. Take him. As Carlos was led away, Maya returned to work. Now that she knew exactly what to look for, she could undo all the sabotage. How long do you need? Alexandre asked. 5 minutes to undo what he did. 15 more to optimize the system and make sure this never happens again. You can really do that? Maya stopped typing and looked at him. Mr. Alexandra, I grew up in this company. I know it better than anyone here. I may not have a diploma on your desk, but I have something money can't buy. Genuine passion for this place. Alexandra felt something break inside his chest. Shame, remorse, a late recognition of a long-standing injustice. Maya, he began. We'll talk later. Let me save the company you almost lost for trusting the wrong person. Maya dove into the code. Her fingers flew. Her mind processed information at incredible speed. The technicians around her began to understand they were witnessing something extraordinary. She's a genius, one of them whispered. No, another replied. She's more than that. She's passionate. 15 minutes later, Maya typed the final command. Done. The red alert screens disappeared. The silence was replaced by the familiar hum of the servers coming back to life. One by one, green lights began to blink. System online. Normal operation. The room erupted in applause. Technicians who had laughed at her minutes ago now looked at her with respect and admiration. Alexandra approached, his hands trembling. Maya, you saved the company. No, Mr. Alexandra. I saved the jobs of 800 families, including mine. He extended his hand to her. Maya hesitated for a second, then shook it. Thank you, he said, and for the first time in his life, he truly meant it. Alexandra couldn't stop looking at Maya. She was there, organizing the cables the technicians had left in disarray, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Maya, she turned around. Yes, sir. Don't call me sir. Call me Alexandra. She smiled, surprised. Okay, Alexandra, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. I always am. How long have you known you could do this? Maya stopped what she was doing. The question hit her deep. Forever, she answered simply. Then why didn't you ever say anything? Alexandra, you've known me for 15 years. Have you ever said hello to me? He lowered his head. Have you ever asked my name? Silence. Have you ever shown any interest in knowing if I even existed? Alexandra felt the words like physical blows. I grew up being invisible to you, to all of you. Janitor's daughter doesn't get to have an opinion about technology. Janitor's daughter doesn't get a voice. Janitor's daughter doesn't matter. Maya, let me finish, she interrupted without aggression. I learned to be invisible because you taught me. I learned to stay quiet because you showed me my voice had no value. Alexandre was devastated. I'm sorry. I don't want you to be sorry. I want you to understand. Maya walked to the IT room window. Down below, she could see the courtyard where she used to play as a child while her father worked. Do you know what it's like to grow up knowing you're smart, but everyone around you treats you like you're invisible? Do you know what it's like to have potential, but never have opportunity? No, Alexandra admitted. I don't. Well, I do. And you know what's worse? It's not the lack of opportunity. It's when you start to believe they're right, that you really aren't worth anything. Alexandra stepped closer. But you didn't believe that. Of course I did. Maya turned around, tears in her eyes. Do you know how many times I doubted myself? How many times I thought I was crazy for thinking I understood something? How many nights I cried because it felt like my brain didn't matter at all? My father's worked at this company for 15 years. 15 years waking up at 5 in the morning. 15 years being treated like a ghost. And you know what's worse? He started to see himself the way you see him, as someone who's only good for cleaning. Alexandre couldn't speak. Today, when I fixed that system, it wasn't just about technology. It was about showing my father that he matters, that I matter, that people like us exist, that we deserve to be seen. Maya, You what, Alexandre? Gonna offer me a job now? A promotion? Turn me into the feel-good success story you tell in meetings to feel better about yourselves? The coldness in her voice hit him like a slap. I don't want your pity. I want your change. What do you mean? Maya took a deep breath. How many others like me work here? How many children of staff you've never even noticed? How many brilliant minds are being wasted because you can't see past a uniform? Alexandra started to understand. You want me to change the company. I want you to change yourself. The company is just a consequence. Alexandra looked around the IT room. The technicians were pretending to work, but they were all listening. They all knew they were witnessing something historic. Maya, I'm going to make you an offer. No, you haven't even heard it yet. I don't need to. You'll offer me a title, a salary, an opportunity, but that doesn't solve the problem. Then what does? Recognition. Not just for me, for everyone. My father has cleaned this company for 15 years. He deserves to be seen. He deserves respect. He deserves for you to know his name. Alexandra's heart was racing. What's your father's full name? Benedito Santos. Benedito Santos, who came here when you were still in college. Benedito Santos, who never missed a day of work. Benedito Santos, who raised a brilliant daughter alone and never complained. Benedito Santos, Alexandra repeated. I didn't know. Now you do. Alexandra turned to the room's intercom. Attention, Tech Global employees. This is Alexandra Montero. I'd like everyone to stop what they're doing for 1 minute. Maya looked at him, surprised. Today, our company almost collapsed. Not because of technical problems, but because of human problems. And it was saved by someone I never truly saw in 15 years. Alexandra's voice echoed through the entire building. Maya Santos, daughter of our janitor Benedito Santos, just solved in 20 minutes a problem our best specialists couldn't fix in hours. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that today I learned that I've been blind. That we've been blind. That there are extraordinary talents in this company we've ignored because we couldn't see beyond uniforms and job titles. Maya was crying, not out of sadness, but from something she had never felt before. Recognition. Starting today, things will change at Tech Global. We're going to create programs to identify and develop talent wherever it may be. We're going to value every person who makes this company run. Alexandra turned off the intercom and turned to Maya. Now I have a proposal for you. Not a job offer, a partnership. I'm listening. Help us find others like you. Help us truly change. Maya smiled. For the first time in 15 years, she felt seen. Okay, Alexandra, but on one condition. What is it? My father stays. And you learn his name, learn his story, learn that he is much more than a janitor. He's one of the most important people in this company. Alexandra extended his hand. Deal. The transformation was just beginning. What happened next changed not only the lives of Maya and Benedito, but the future of hundreds of people. Get ready for an ending that will restore your faith in humanity. 6 months later, Tech Global was no longer the same company. Alexandra had kept his word in a way that even surprised Maya. The Invisible Talents program identified 47 employees and children of employees with untapped potential. The company created scholarships, training programs, and most importantly, it created a culture where every voice was heard. Maya now worked as a technological innovation consultant. Her first project, redesign all the company's security systems so they would never again be vulnerable to internal sabotage. But the biggest change wasn't in the company's numbers or systems. It was in the people. Benedito Santos was now known throughout Tech Global, not just as the janitor, but as Benedito, the man who raised one of the brightest minds in the company. Alexandra made a point of greeting him every day. Good morning, Benedito. How's Maya? Good morning, Mr. Alexandra. She's doing well. Just yesterday, she showed me a new project you're developing. I understood about 3 words. Benedito laughed. And you? How are you feeling about all this? Benedito would stop cleaning and look at Alexandra. You know what really changed, Mr. Alexandra? It wasn't Maya's job title or her salary. It was that for the first time in 15 years, I feel seen. I feel like a human being. And you know what's most beautiful? Yesterday, my 5-year-old grandson asked me what I do at work. And for the first time, I was able to answer with pride. Grandpa helps take care of a company where smart people do incredible things. And your Aunt Maya is one of them. Alexandra felt a lump in his throat every time he talked to Benedito. It wasn't just remorse for the past. It was genuine gratitude for having learned to see. Maya was in her new office, small but with a window, when Alexandra knocked on the door. Can I come in? Of course. He sat down. How are you adjusting? Good. It's strange to have my own desk after 15 years doing homework on the floor of the cleaning room. They laughed. Maya, can I ask you a personal question? Sure. Do you forgive me for the lost time? For the opportunities I didn't give you? For being blind for so long? Maya stopped typing and looked at him. Alexandre, forgiveness isn't about forgetting the past. It's about using it to build a better future. And do you think we're building that? Look around. How many people are getting opportunities they didn't have 6 months ago? How many families are seeing their children being recognized? Alexandra smiled. 47 so far. 47 families that now believe the world can be fair. 47 stories being rewritten. You know what's most beautiful, Alexandre? It's not that you changed. It's that you allowed change to happen, that you had the courage to admit you were wrong. It wasn't courage. It was necessity. After what happened with Carlos, I realized I didn't even know the people I trusted most. How could I know the company? And now do you know it? I'm learning. Every day, Maya stood and walked to the window. From the 10th floor, she could see the public school where she studied. You know what I think about sometimes? How many other Mayas are out there? How many other brilliant people are being wasted because someone decided they didn't matter? Many, Alexandra admitted. But at least now we know it's possible to change. One person, one company, one story at a time. Alexandra joined her by the window. Maya, can I tell you something? Sure. You didn't just save the company that day. You saved me too. What do you mean? I was becoming someone I didn't like. I was losing my humanity. You reminded me that behind every role, every uniform, every title, there is a person with a story. And you know what's most impressive? You did all that without anger, without revenge. You could have humiliated me, could have made me pay for all those years of invisibility, but you chose the path of education. Maya smiled. Anger builds nothing, Alexandra. And I always wanted to build, not destroy. That's why you're special. No, Alexandra, I'm not special. I'm just someone who had the opportunity to show who she really was. And now I'm helping others get that same opportunity. At that moment, the phone rang. It was reception. Mr. Alexandra, there's a journalist downstairs who wants to do a story about the Invisible Talents program. She wants to interview you and Maya. Alexandra looked at Maya. Do you accept? Only if my dad joins too. Why? Because this story isn't about me. It's about all the people who were invisible and are now being seen. My father represents each one of them. 2 hours later, the three of them were sitting in the meeting room. The journalist, visibly moved, asked the final question. Mr. Alexandra, if you could give one piece of advice to other CEOs, what would it be? Alexandra looked at Maya and Benedito. Look at the people you don't see. Listen to the voices you don't hear. The greatest talents in your company may be right under your nose, just waiting for a chance to shine. And you, Maya? What message would you give to young people who feel invisible? That invisibility isn't permanent. That intelligence has no color, no social class, no uniform. And that sometimes the greatest opportunities appear in the most unexpected moments. Keep studying, keep believing, keep being brilliant. Your time will come. And you, Mr. Benedito? Benedito, emotional, took a few seconds to answer. I want to say to all the parents who work hard, who wake up early, who do jobs that others consider simple, you matter. Your work has dignity, and your children are watching. They're learning. And one day, they'll make you even prouder. The story aired on a Thursday night. The next day, Alexandra received over 200 emails from CEOs of other companies wanting to implement similar programs. Maya received invitations to speak at universities across the country. And Benedito? Benedito finally looked in the mirror and saw himself as the extraordinary man he had always been. Tech Global became a national reference in inclusion and talent development. But more important than the awards or recognition was the real change in the lives of hundreds of people. Because sometimes all a person needs is to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized as the extraordinary human being they've always been. Maya Santos proved that intelligence has no address, that potential wears no uniform, and that the greatest transformations happen when we finally see the people who were right in front of us all along. And Alexandra Montero learned that being a CEO isn't about giving orders. It's about serving. It's about creating opportunities so that each person can show the best of themselves. This is the story of how a system failure revealed the greatest truth of all, that every person matters, that every story has value, and that real change begins when we decide to truly see one another. If this story touched your heart, leave a like so it can reach more people. Subscribe to the channel for more stories of transformation and resilience. And don't forget to watch the next video appearing on your screen now. It's a story that will move you even more. Because everyone deserves to be seen. Everyone deserves a chance. And you might be the one who sees someone's potential today.